So season 3 of the Kardashians on Hulu just wrapped up. Well, it didn't just wrap up. I just finally got around to watching the finale. The season ended with a whimper, as seasons have been ending lately. And it made me think about the criticism that a lot of people have for the new incarnation of the Kardashian show. A lot of people have been complaining about the new show. They say they prefer the old show. This one doesn't feel real enough. That's the number one thing I'm hearing a lot from people. And so today I decided to talk on this because it follows the theme that I have been trying to touch on lately, that society is losing its appetite for real reality. And now everybody finds the artifice or the fake more interested because it feels more real. So let's talk about that today. I just wanted to remind you, in case you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. We just surpassed 1,000 subscribers, which is so exciting. And now we're on to 2,000, so please help me get there. Thank you so much, and let's get back into the video. So the Kardashians on Hulu versus Keeping Up with the Kardashians on E. The original show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, ran for about 15 years, if I'm not mistaken. And it was pretty popular. Ratings started to decline as the years went by, but it was still enough to keep E interested. And there had even been some conversations, some negotiations to extend the contract of the family when the last contract expired. It's very clear that Hulu offered a very nice fat check, something they couldn't refuse. So they decided to leave E and go into Hulu. And the number one complaint that people have about the Hulu show is that it moves very slow. It's not as interesting, it's not as fun as the Keeping Up with the Kardashians production, which seemed more real. The family seemed more real. And now it just seems boring and fake. I disagree with that. Fundamentally and vigorously, I disagree with that. Last year, I did a video on Sister Wives, and this is another reality show. And when I was doing that video, I went into a brief history of reality shows, and I mentioned that the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show was loosely based on the Brady Bunch. Follows the same formula. Two divorced people get married and blend their families. And because this was based on the Brady Bunch, which was a sitcom, the show was filmed and written as a sitcom. What is a sitcom? As the word suggests, situation comedy. And in a situation comedy, it usually lasts a half an hour. And in that half an hour, there is a specific situation that is covered from beginning to end. The situation is introduced. There's a conflict, there's a crescendo to the conflict, there's a resolution, the end, credit rolls. It's a very basic formula that has been very successful over the years. And the Keeping Up with the Kardashians production wanted to maintain that same formula. So following that formula, every episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians dealt with a specific situation. From the very beginning, it gets introduced, there's some kind of a conflict within the family, it gets resolved, and then the show ends. What's so peculiar about this? Well, this formula of having a situation starting, reaching its crescendo, and being resolved in a half an hour episode or a 1 hour episode is that is not real life. In real life, situations don't appear one day and get resolved that same day, or a couple days later, that it can be fit into one episode. That's not real life. That's a show. That's fake. But people have come so accustomed to watching that formula play out on TV that we have come to believe that that is how real life should be. That life is entertainment. That life can be taken in tiny little bites and processed in those tiny little bites. And those situations should never arise again. That's the reason why this entire season of the Kardashians on Hulu, we've been looking at the situation between Kim and Kourtney play out episode after episode after episode.
He's putting out all these vibes from my wedding. She said, "You're trying to copy me." She's such a hater.
I found out that Kourt is so upset because she actually called me crying.
And it never really quite got resolved. Yes, they did talk in the end, but there was no real resolution. The resentment is still there. The feelings are still there. Kim never promised that she would never do a deal that might involve another one of her siblings. In life, people fall into whatever patterns they set for themselves, and the rest of us have to either accept it or reject it. But very seldom do these situations get resolved. That's why the sitcom formula, as entertaining as it is not real life. And people need to accept that. We have lost the taste of, not just the taste, we have lost the ability to tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. A lot of people really believe that the situations that were playing out on the Keeping Up with the Kardashian show, they really thought that these were real situations. Yes, there were some things that were real. Kourtney, continuing to get pregnant by Scott, and him being a horrible boyfriend and losing his mind and having substance abuse issues. Those things were real, and we were glued to that. But all the other situations that were going on, it was all fake. And I could tell, because when I was growing up, there was no reality TV. The only TV we had was from actors. So now as an adult, when I look at reality TV, I can tell the difference between real acting and fakeness, because none of the Kardashians are actors. Well, yeah, none of the Kardashians are actors. So it was clear to me watching these situations play out, not only because of how fantastical they were, and there were situations where they're like, oh, don't tell my dad, don't tell my mom, when there's a whole camera crew filming you, and mom and dad are gonna see this one day, and you know this.
The guy that I hired to walk Cabana, he also does dishes. I'm gonna hire him to do all my chores at a lower rate.
But people don't put these two things together because we live in a world of artifice and fakeness. I talked about this in my last video about how AI is changing music and the music industry. Go watch it if you haven't watched it. And it's unfortunate that we are becoming accustomed to believing what was never meant to be believed, just to be entertaining. Another complaint that people have about the Kardashians on Hulu is that it moves so slow. There's nothing really, there's no comedy, there's nothing interesting happening, there's nothing exciting. Life moves along slow. That's just how life is. And when we live in a society where we feel that that is a problem that needs to be solved, that we need to be moving faster, that we need caffeine so that we can move and go, or that we need drugs or alcohol to kind of take away the drudgery of your long days. It's so boring. But that's how life has been for thousands of years. Why is it that now we need to cut the monotony? We are leaving the natural order of things in exchange for a life that looks more like something that you'd see on TV or on a movie screen. And we've come so accustomed to seeing these exciting things happening. When you look at a sitcom or a movie, dialogue goes really quickly. I mean, people know what to say at every moment. Is that real life? No. In most situations, you have an argument with somebody, and 2 hours later, you're kicking yourself thinking, I should have said this and I should have said that. Why didn't I think of saying this? Because that's how life is. Sometimes life comes at you fast and you're not prepared for it with a clever line. And we're losing the ability to really live in this reality. And that is a problem that is getting worse. Another thing that people complain about the new show is that, oh, they're just showing off their wealth. I don't know about anybody else, but the only reason why I would watch the Kardashians was to see the wealth. I enjoy the aspirational aspect, the wealth porn, the displays of conspicuous consumption. I think, yeah, it's tacky sometimes. Yeah, it's over the top. But don't we like to watch it? Yeah, it brings about little feelings of jealousy within us, of course. But don't we love to watch? Isn't that the reason why celebrities are so looked at and followed, and we follow their social media because we want to see how they live? I really enjoy how much more real it feels. There's still aspects of it that are kind of scripted, but I really like the reality. Especially there are times when they are in the middle of filming and they stop and look straight at the camera. They break that fourth wall and they start talking to the audience while they're filming.
Court's the good shaker.
We know how much you guys love it. Eating a salad with us and just shaking a salad.
I really like that. I really like the realness of it. When the sisters found out about Tristan's baby, how that moment was captured on camera, that was a real moment. Some people saying, oh, they already knew and they were faking. They were not faking. They were not faking. When Kylie made that statement about, is Tristan the worst person in the world? And Kim immediately said, shh, we're filming. Like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. I'm on camera. We can hear you. That was a real moment. And I love reality, real reality. And I hope that after all the complaints that people have been lobbying about the show, I hope that they don't go back to the old formula of going back to a more scripted show, because at that point I'm just gonna stop watching. Now maybe I'll just watch for the voyeuristic nature of it all, but I won't be interested anymore. I am very interested in people's real lives. I find real life interesting. It moves slower. It is a little boring. But what's wrong with boring? Boring is real. And I also have some questions. What's up with the family not loving Travis Barker? I just feel like there is no support of Travis the way they used to support Kanye when he was in the family. Every time he would have a show or a fashion show or a concert, the family was always there. Even Tristan, who has done everything possible to humiliate and betray Khloe, the way the family rallies around him. I understand when he lost his mom, I understand that part, but the way Kim was going to his Laker games with signs, not even a sign that say, go Lakers, go Tristan, just Tristan Thompson. That was so weird. I'm like, is Kim messing with Tristan? Would anybody be surprised if that was the case? Because there's just too much support. But I don't see one iota of that for Travis Barker. They were on tour, and I don't think any of the sisters went. Not one time to one of the shows. He played at Coachella. Kendall was at Coachella. She never attended his show. It's just very weird. There's more to this story. And I want to know what's the reality behind that. I would like to know what's going on, because by all accounts, he seems to be a really wonderful guy. The way he is with Kourtney and Kourtney's kids and his kids. The fact that he has primary custody of his children with Shayna Mouklier. And fun fact, I met Shayna one time. A company I had started some years ago was one of the sponsors for the Miss Nevada and Miss Nevada team. And I met her. She seemed like a really lovely person, so I don't want to suggest that there's something wrong. But the fact that they all live with Travis, I just find it very interesting, but very telling about the kind of man and father that he is. He's, in spite of the fact that he's a world-renowned rock star, he still is able to raise his children and maintain a close relationship with them. I just find that very interesting and very admirable. And the fact that the family hasn't gone out of their way to show their love and appreciation and support for Travis, that's very strange to me. And I would like to know what's happening behind the scenes there. Will they ever address it? Kourtney, if you're watching this, give us a hint. What's going on? Sorry, I keep moving the camera. I'm trying to find a good spot. It's so busy behind me. And another thing, in keeping up with the Kardashians, the family seemed a lot closer. It appeared as if the family was a lot closer. But I think now in the real reality show, it's becoming very clear that they're not as close as they seemed. I'm starting to see there's some kind of a fissure or some kind of a separation between the Jenner sisters and the Kardashians. And it's a very pronounced chasm. Kylie and Kendall spent most of the time filming together, away from the sisters. They hardly ever appeared. And the sisters seem to have their own thing. Now, it's clear that Kourtney's on the outs with Kim and Khloe, but I feel like there's more to this. And I believe it was on season 1 of the new show that Kim managed to steal a Vogue cover from Kendall. And Kendall was like, oh yeah, that's fine, it's no problem. There's no way that Kendall didn't feel some type of way about this. There is no way. But anyway, I want to see more. I want to see more realness. Anyway, what do you think? Do you like this new show? Do you prefer the old show? Let me know. What are your thoughts on either one? Oh, it got really dark. Okay, there you go. A little bit more light. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Did you enjoy the old show better than this show? What do you think? Is it too boring for you? I'm enjoying it. I like it. I'm not saying this is great entertainment. It's just interesting. I find them a lot more interesting now. If you'd like to see me talk about different topics on social media, entertainment, music, television, movies, whatever comes to my mind, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you join us in our growing family. Please share this video if you think that somebody you know might find it interesting, and it would help me to get the algorithm to show my channel to more people. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye.